Hi, I'm Lisa Meltzer Penn. I'll be reading a story from Fault Zone Transform from the California Writers Club. Thank you to the San Mateo County Public Libraries for creating this space for local authors to bring our work to the community. Chasing Carol Stein. I remember Carol Stein saying no one could ever expose or shame her because she had nothing to hide. She was an open book. But even a book has things to hide. Opening a book does not fan out all its pages at once, all its layers of secret and artifice. Carol would say, "Just a face, not an artifice." It had been a couple of years since college when I spotted Carol between 21st and 22nd Streets on my way home from work. Her familiar wavy red hair flowed down her back as she strolled with a friend. I quickened my pace thinking to catch up and surprise her. A construction scaffolding formed a dark tunnel on 23rd where something dank and oily had formed a puddle on the sidewalk. I tried to sidestep the puddle, but it didn't slow Carol. At the corner, she turned left, red mane swinging to the side. Her friend's sleek bob glinted for a moment above an animal print scarf. And forsaking my usual route, I followed them, getting caught up in a line of people waiting to cross at the light. Carol and her friend, though, slipped easily through the crowd, chattering obliviously as I tried to catch up. Carol was one of those people who was nice to everyone. A year older than me, she'd shared a suite with me in our freshman dorm with two other girls. Carol was the one who had directed me to the more interesting freshman philosophy seminars and cheered me up with a pint of mint chocolate chip the first time I got dumped. I was losing her, so I started to jog, squeezing around the oncoming pedestrians, brushing against a big man who stepped in front of me and leered. I inched around him. I was sure Carol would be thrilled to see me. There would be a cry of delight, a warm hug, a promise to get together soon. Wasn't that how chance encounters went? I was already looking forward to getting together for coffee. Finally, I abandoned all pretense of surprise. Carol Stein! But we were in yet another tunnel. My voice didn't carry. Carol's hand reached back, brushing her hair from her neck. I couldn't quite see her face, just the curve of cheek before the hair dropped back. But I remembered her face, freckled nose, rounded cheeks, twinkling eyes. "Carol! Hey, Carol, wait up!" She stopped then, turned toward me, and I saw her face full on. She looked annoyed. "Carol! Carol Stein!" She frowned. Then she turned and kept walking. "Carol?" She stopped and turned again, hand on hip, looking me over. "I am not Carol Stein." But she looked just like Carol Stein. Not only her hair or the shape of her cheek, but every feature of her face. Yet she regarded me as a stranger. I stood in the mingle of people not knowing what to do. "You're not?" "No, I'm not that person. You're mistaken." I looked to Carol's friend for confirmation. She raised her eyebrows, examining me shrewdly for a moment, and shrugged. Then they both turned and walked away. Was Carol's face different? Was I remembering her wrong? Did she possibly have amnesia? Or was she really not Carol Stein? But then who was she to carry the same hair, the same face? She looked exactly as I remembered. I watched until I could no longer see the bounce of red hair. Turning the other way, I zigzagged the blocks and avenues toward home, stopping when I had to wait for the flashing red sign to change to the white light icon of the walking man. If this person was someone else, then where was my Carol Stein? I had not thought about her in the years since college much. I could have searched her out. Apparently she lived in the city too. Or at least this other Carol Stein did. But that's the thing about chance encounters. They are subject to unwritten rules. Was my old friend not the open book she had professed to be? I stopped at the corner traffic light. With the press of bodies gathering force around me, I began to see that the rules of fate could turn the corner as well. For never offering up that moment of reunion. For never bringing into being that person or thing you lacked. That molten object or past that lay just out of reach.